that you were a professional.
I'm a professional. Hey guys, today we have a special episode because we have a special guest. Finally on the channel, today we have the one and only my husband, Bay NL. Say hi to the people.
What's up, y'all? In the house.
Yes. Okay, come a little bit this way, please. Perfect. All right, so are you excited to be here?
I am so excited.
Okay, you don't have to overdo it. You don't have to pretend that you're excited if you're not excited.
Who says I'm not excited?
I know you are. Okay.
All right.
I just mildly bribed you to be here. Okay, so today we're just gonna have a conversation.
It was a huge bribe, not a money.
They don't need to know. Okay. Today we're going to have a conversation about moving abroad, planning to move abroad, or to leave the U.S. specifically, and why? Why? First of all, why? And so wanted to give a little background about, because people know that I'm not from here, that I came here 20 years ago and all of that we met here. And that's probably a story for another day, how we met. That's a good story too.
Mm-hmm.
But so you're going to come back for that story.
Okay.
All right. So, but today, okay, so tell us a little bit about you and and why is it that we're all of a sudden wanting to move abroad?
It's been a couple of years coming. My background, I was born here in the US, but I spent most of my childhood in Cameroon. And, I really loved growing up there. It's a totally different experience. Now, it's difficult to compare it with growing up here, but I do see my kids and the way they're growing up, and I know my childhood was something special. It was really focused around family. It was focused around God. It was focused around relationships, and most of the other stuff didn't matter as much. And so coming here to the US, I came here, I was about 17, went straight to college. I do appreciate that there is a lot of advantages to being here. There's a lot of wealth, there's a lot of places you can go, a lot of things you can do, but also just the guaranteeing your future in terms of really building your skill set and making sure that you can provide for your family. That's one thing the US is amazing at. But I still miss those family values. And so that's one thing I still miss. And I always remember that whenever I go back to see my family.
Okay, good start. Okay.
She doesn't think I can do this.
You can do it. Okay, it's just that sometimes you get so into it. But anyways, he's a finance guy. That's why he's so serious. But anyways, okay, so take us back to when you came to the US. So you always knew that you were going to come here for school, or was it a surprise that you didn't know that you were going to come here, since you spent 15 years of your, no, less than that, 15, 14 years of your life in Cameroon?
Yeah.
So was it like you knew that you were supposed to come here for undergrad, or was it like a surprise?
Initially, it was a surprise in that I went back to Cameroon and I was 3 years old. And so I don't remember my time in the US, frankly. I just remember pictures and, flashes. I was pretty young. And so for me, Cameroon was it. I know my friends used to tease me about my accent, but even that went away after several years. So it was just something that I was going to be in Cameroon. There was no thought to life anywhere else. But then when I was around 14 years old, my dad started getting serious because even though I was born here in the US, he never did any paperwork for me. All we had was our birth certificate. And so when I was around 14 years old, Something woke up in him. I don't know if it's a friend who told him something, but he realized that, we probably can get documentation for myself and my sister. And so they started that process. It took about a year, back and forth, but by the time I was about 15, I had my US passport. And so at that time, I knew that eventually I'll come to the US, but I didn't know exactly when.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So were you excited when you came here for school?
Um, yes, it was nothing like I thought about. It was more. And
Okay.
so it's difficult for somebody who's never been to the US as an adult to imagine just the largesse, the vastness of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is bigger. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the highways were 6 lanes, 7 lanes, 8 lanes. I think we only have like a 2 lane, 3 lane highway, our largest highways in Cameroon at the time.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's bigger ones now. At the time, we had three main universities, maybe four. Um, Here, there's hundreds, if not thousands.
Mm.
Um, we had one airline. I
We still
mean,
have it.
we probably don't even have it anymore. I think we regressed there. No, I think there's still one airline.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, here countless airlines.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I mean, in every single way, it's just bigger.
Mm-hmm. True.
The number of cars on the road. I thought we had traffic. Here, it's just crazy. I thought we had a large. Cameroon was a big country. Of course, having only lived there, and here it's just vast. I mean, it's just immense. So it's difficult to comprehend how big it was. So that was more of the surprise, just seeing how big and everything was.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you for that. So now you've lived more years here in the US than in Cameroon. And so, going through school here, undergrad, MBA, then getting a job, meeting me while you were still at school. That changed your life.
Best day of my life.
Okay, hold on. Focus. All right. And what else was I gonna say?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the one asking questions.
Hold on. Okay, yeah. And then getting married, job, kids, and all that. So like your adult life, full adult life. And now, I mean, things are great, right? And so why would you want to leave all of that? I mean, the way I kind of describe the American dream, which is different for everybody, but for me, it's more like, okay, it's checking the boxes. It's like you go to school, check. You get a job, check. You get married, check. You get a house, check. You get kids, check. You get the 2-car garage thingy, check. So you have all of that. So why would you want to change things?
Um, because I want to build an empire.
Okay.
Um, Especially for my kids. The truth of the matter is, America or the US has countless opportunities, and we've been blessed to be able to follow our passions, and become entrepreneurs, in different fields, and we're building a family business. But one of the things that I have always known is that, I want my family, especially my kids, to learn what it is to be truly surrounded by family. That's one thing I miss. When we had gatherings, I always brag that I have the largest family that I know of.
Yeah.
And it's a different atmosphere when you have something going on, either a celebration or maybe a setback, and just having a support system where you never feel like you're alone. I think that in and of itself has given me the kind of confidence that other people notice. And I don't know that you can have that here without just people accepting you and truly loving you just for who you are, not because of your accomplishments or anything. I want my kids to feel that. But the other part of it is that, when we're growing up, we feel like Africa is the place to get away from.
Mm-hmm.
It's the place to, we used to call it in Cameroon, you have to fall bush, meaning where wherever you are, you have to go out. The bush is like a foreign land, like a foreign territory, and you just have to go. If you're in Cameroon, the term fall bush, ask any Cameroonian what that means. It just means you just have to get out, get away. And that's how it was when we were there. And for several years, I felt that way. But as I get a little bit older, I realize that the reason is that we've been misled. The real opportunities are in Africa. The real opportunities to really build something substantial are here in the US, but they are even more accelerated in Africa because there is no real established industries which dominate any kind of world production in any space. So you can pretty much just pick a lane, any lane, and pursue excellence, and you can be at the top of the food chain, which is different from here where everything is already established. Even as entrepreneurs, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people doing what you're doing. There are a lot of people doing the same, but the level at which they're doing it is still rather rudimentary. And so there's a lot of opportunities to grow there.
Okay. All right. So those are great reasons and great motivations, definitely, because it's not just for us as adults, but also looking at it from the perspective of our kids. And so that's great. So when did you start having those thoughts about leaving?
Only really during COVID. So I've always had the dream to move back. In fact, I remember at one of my interviews after MBA school for a venture capital firm, and they were asking me what is my dream career. And I was talking about moving to Africa and starting an investment fund for startups there. And I didn't get the position, of course. And so I found the guy, one of the judges for the it was for the Kaufman Fellowship, and I found him later in the evening, and I just had a chat like, hey, tell me what I could improve on for next time. And it's like, yeah, you should stop talking about Africa so much. And I get it, right? Nobody's trying to hire somebody whose dream is to go to and build something in Africa, especially if they don't have any branches there. And so I remember that because I was speaking from the heart, and I didn't get the position, but I remember that because I didn't even know it was in me. And so it's always been there, but it took COVID to bring it out because I realized that there's a certain part of my business that can be done online. Before COVID, it didn't even seem possible.
Yeah.
But after COVID, I'm realizing that not the whole business, but certain parts of it can be done online. And that's just given me the confidence to be able to step out and step away from things for a few, because I can still run my business remotely online.
I don't know if you remember, but when we met, those were some of the conversations that we had. And I remember you told me when we were still dating that you wanted to go back to Cameroon at some point. So we had those discussions.
I don't even remember that. I was just trying to impress you.
You did impress me, so you did a good job. But I remember those conversations that, and to me at that time, I think I had been in the US for like maybe 5 years or something like that. So I wasn't thinking about leaving yet. I was like, I still need to taste the money, right? But that was something that I liked, because for me too, it was something that I wanted to do at some point. Not that soon, but eventually wanting to do that. And then before COVID, I was already doing everything online with my business. And I was telling you, hey, let's just get up and go and all that, you know. And then you were like,
No.
and then COVID happened, and I was like, see, you can do this too. Isn't it fun? And so COVID, that was one of the silver linings of COVID, showing that a lot of the things that we do, that we already do, can be done online. Okay, so that really accelerated the whole process. So let's talk about top choices, top destinations for you to leave the US and go where?
Cameroon obviously is the top choice.
Other than Cameroon,
Other than Cameroon,
give me 3 countries or cities.
Brazil. I've always wanted to go to Brazil and live in Brazil. I've never been, so obviously I don't know how that's going to go as a choice, but that's a place I've always wanted to explore. The other one is Colombia.
Really? Okay.
Now, those 2 countries I've heard are like Cameroon in terms of their vegetation, in terms of their culture, their food. One thing that Cameroon has, is food.
Sure.
I challenge every other African country. Yeah, you too. We have that.
Yeah.
And then Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast.
You're putting it in the top 3?
It is top 3.
I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I thought you were going to say like Japan or something.
No, not Japan.
Really?
I can't eat raw fish all day.
Okay. All
but
right.
no. I like some Japanese food. But again, if you notice the places that I'm choosing, one thing I like is food. And so these are 3 places where I feel like the food is really good from what I've tried. But for Ivory Coast, I have actually been there a couple of times, and I like the way it's set up. I think they've done a very good job organizing themselves, and it's a beautiful country too.
Okay.
And very, very friendly people. So those are the top 3.
Yeah. Okay. So if you were to say top 3 in Africa only, so it would be Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, and which one would be your third?
I've heard good things about Ghana. I don't know. I'm just not so familiar with Ghana. I've also heard good things about South Africa. So from what I've heard, for people who've been to South Africa, they've told me it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. So I would say I'll put that as my third.
Okay. All right. Cool. Very good. All right. So how do you prepare? Like, how are you preparing for that move? Whether it's mentally, financially, all of that. How are you preparing for it?
I'm just thinking money, saving a lot of money. I think, to me, I'm a finance guy. I see things through a finance lens. I think once we solve that problem, everything else will fall. Mentally, I'll be more prepared. Physically, I'll be more prepared. The logistics will be more prepared if we hit our target for savings.
All right. I like that. Short and sweet. Very good answer. Okay. Good. So what would you say to people who say, what did you say, fall bush? And they're like, why would you want to come back here? Dude, you just had the opportunity to leave. Now you want to come back here and bring your family too. And I'm talking about Africa in general, or Cameroon specifically.
You're talking about my dad, right?
I didn't want to name names, but it's not just your dad. But yeah, like family members, your cousin, your dad. I don't know if we had friends who said no. That's the funny thing that I've noticed is like, I think older generation, probably just like my mom too. They're like, why? You're here, stay here. But people our age are like, yeah, let's do that. I'm like, I'm right behind you type thing. What do you think that is?
The main reason is that blue passport, that US passport, because it gives you a backup plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
If everything goes haywire, or we call it in the military, if everything goes foobar, you can come right back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say that to me is it's a very low risk
Mm.
thing to do, in that if it does
Mm.
not work out, you can always come back.
Okay.
So I'm not really worried about the risk. But why go? Very simple. Again, most of my family is in Africa, and I only get to see them once every couple of years, once a year when I travel. But I haven't traveled in 2 years now because my dad's been here. So I only get to see my family every other year, if that.
Mm.
That's not really enough time to get to really know them and connect with them and build a relationship. My
Yeah.
kids don't see any of my extended family unless they come to the US.
Yeah.
And what I'm realizing more and more is the friends that you keep throughout your life are the friends you make in childhood. And if you're
Mm.
not making those friends, it becomes a little bit tricky for you.
Mm.
Because what I have found for me is I have a lot of friends that I made through work, through school, but they're not my closest friends. My closest friends are the ones that I made um, before I was 21.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And those are the friends for life. Those are the ones I still talk to. Those are the ones who, when they're in town, we try to meet up. Or when I go to their, to their area, I try to meet up.
You're groomsmen.
Yeah, pretty much. Those,
Yeah.
all my groomsmen, and yeah, that's what I want for my kids. Also, I want
Mm-hmm.
that network. I want that sense of um, security, that I don't know what word am I
Belonging.
looking, sense of belonging. Yeah, but even more than that, it's more like a blanket, that sense of comfort, of
Mm-hmm.
people who just accept you
Strong
because they
ties.
really know you,
Yeah.
and not because you worked at a certain place, or you met playing soccer, or
Mm-hmm.
there's a different level to that. So
Okay. It's like you've done life together in a way.
yeah, you've done life together.
Okay.
They know you before you formed all these crazy notions. They it's kind of, they know the essence of
They've known
you.
you before you were famous on YouTube.
Well, this thing is gonna go viral, so
There we go. All right. All right. So, um, you kind of mentioned about a little bit of the things that you want to do there, but what would you say would be the industries that you personally would want to invest in, whether it's in Cameroon or in Cote d'Ivoire, if you're um, thinking about Cote d'Ivoire too?
access to capital. I'm a finance guy, and one thing I've done a lot of is I've done a lot of entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the main thing that can really develop entrepreneurship is setting up structures that can attract and deploy capital efficiently. That's where the US thrives, in that they have a system that is organized. And so not only do they get funding from people who are here, but people all around the world see it and say, yes, I
Mm-hmm.
have the confidence to put my money there.
Mm-hmm.
I think we lack those structures in Africa as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
It may be corruption, it may be just disorganization, or it may be just not having the skills to take it to that next level. Whatever the case may be, um, it is really capital. Capital is the food that business and entrepreneurship thrives on. If you don't have access to low cost capital,
Mm.
it's very difficult to develop. So I think that's one of the problems that I would work at solving.
Mm.
And I mean, there's a lot of other things, but there's a lot of other things you can do. But I think that's the main need
Mm.
for a lot of entrepreneurs.
And that's your area. That's your, I mean, that's the thing that you've done here, and that's really something you're passionate about.
That's right.
That's cool. Okay. Okay. We're gonna do another video, upcoming video where, and as soon as I upload it, I'm gonna link it right here up here. But it's gonna be a little bit of a comparison between Cote d'Ivoire and Cameroon. It's no secret that you are on Team Cameroon and that I'm on Team Cote d'Ivoire. And so we're going to do a little bit of a, not a comparison, but a little bit like to see where each country has the upper head, in certain categories. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about that in another video. But are want to say something?
You should have got a real Cote d'Ivoirian to represent Cote d'Ivoire. How can you don't have the
Dude, you're discrediting
capacity?
me.
You don't have the capacity to represent Cote d'Ivoire.
It's not like I could represent any country that I want to go to. It doesn't have to be the country that I'm from.
I'm just saying, if you want to win the argument, you need.
It's not an argument. Well,
debate, whatever.
Yes, it's a debate. It's a debate.
I know Cameroon.
I know you do.
All right.
I know you do. And I don't know Cameroon, and I don't know whose fault is that.
Yeah, but if you want to represent Cote d'Ivoire, they might lose. You need representation.
Yeah, that's true. I need to call my friends.
Yeah, you get a whole team.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else you would like to add to our discussion about moving to the? Oh yeah, advice that you would give to couples or families contemplating leaving the U.S.
Think about it carefully, and think about why you want to do it. Think about what you want to do. Think about the planning. But if it's something that you really want to do, just do it. I think what has been so surprising for me is that when we thought about it and talked about it, it was the craziest idea. I just assumed everybody would call us crazy. But for the most part, no. A lot of people are like, I wish I could do it too, which kind of blows my mind because everybody's now telling me about their plans to move abroad, and I'm like, yeah, but you're so America. I mean, you're like John America. What?
You're such a patriot.
You have this good job, you have this good career or this good business. Why? And I'm the one being the skeptic now. But for me, I would say think about it. Think about your reasons why. Plan it out logistically, spiritually, all of that. But if you want to do it, do it.
Do you think, like, for example, for our kids, they are so young, being under 11, right? Do you think that for other families, like, would it be better to wait till they're teenagers or they're out of the house or, with small kids, like?
Just do it. Doesn't matter. They'll figure it out. Kids are resilient. I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I remember I have a cousin who was born here, grew up here, but then he spent like a year in Cameroon. Not even that long. But he identifies as Cameroonian, which blows my mind because he was so young when he came there. I don't know how much he even remembers, but he remembers some. And it stays with him to this day. So it doesn't matter what age your kids are. If they're younger, great. If they're older, great. I would say as long as they're still kids, they're under 18, so they can, it doesn't affect things like school or anything, and you can take them.
Yeah. And like you said, the whole thing with the blue passport, I made a video about passport privilege before, and how, when I came here as an immigrant, I had like one of the weakest passports, and then now
it was terrible.
Okay. I didn't say it was terrible. I just said it was bad.
It was. You always had to stand in extra long lines when we travel, while we just breeze right through.
That's true. That's true, and that made me very nervous. When we went to Europe with the boys, I was like, I hope nobody comes in. The embassy will take you, and I'll be at the door outside waiting for my family. But anyways, yeah. So you have privileges. You need to use them. So that's also one of the benefits of having that passport, is that it allows you to have that cushion. If anything pops, guess what? They're coming to get us. Or if not, you have somewhere else to go, right? So it has that, and I'm not just saying that all the risk will be like that. There are some other risks, like getting sick or anything like that, and there, just get on the plane, or you have opportunities, you have options. That's what I'm trying to say. And so you wouldn't have to, like, for example, if I were going with my Congolese passport to Cameroon, and it's like, oh, they have to take you to, what's the neighboring country, for example, like they have to take you to Nigeria because they have a better hospital. Oh snap, I have a Congolese passport, I have to apply for a visa to Nigeria. I can't be airlifted, right? Just things as, things like that.
Yeah, but they have Central African ECOWAS passports, so you'll probably be better off.
With which country? Going to
and for Cameroon and Nigeria.
Nigeria is not in the central thing.
ECOWAS is
I'm not in ECOWAS, and Cameroon is not in ECOWAS.
There's
a central one. It's
yeah.
Congo, African, Centrafrique,
yeah,
Gabon, I think.
Cameroon is in there.
And Cameroon is in there. So okay, yeah. Where am I gonna go? I don't.
Equatorial Guinea has some good hospitals.
Okay, I have to do my research and see if they're in there. But yeah, so those would be my options. But like that's what I'm trying to say. If I were, like, the closest one was like Nigeria. If I'm in, anyways, yeah. So it's good to have that passport privilege for sure.
Well, you're still gonna need a visa, at least for Nigeria.
Yes, yeah. Even for Cote d'Ivoire.
Even for Cameroon.
Even for Cameroon, you need a visa. That's right.
Even with the U.S. passport, so
you do, yeah. But if it's okay, you have to be airlifted to Europe or to Morocco. That's good too.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you would like to add?
Nope.
How did you like this experience?
It's not bad.
See? It's fun, right?
Yeah, we'll see the latest cut. But yeah, so far so good.
All right. Sounds great. All right. So we're going to do another video. But in the meantime, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, share the video to other people who might enjoy it. And yeah, leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know if you have any questions or any thoughts or anything like that about our move or your move abroad as well. Until next time, bye.